Hello and welcome to News Now on TV360. I am Thelma Okoro. A riot has broken out at Kuje prison in Abuja, the nation's capital. The incident began at about 10 a.m. on Monday morning. A series of gunshots could be heard from the premises as officials of the Nigerian Prison Service tried to control the situation. According to media reports, the prison inmates who tried to escape were tear-gassed. One of the notable inmates in that prison facility is Charles Oga. Oka is the alleged mastermind of the 2010 Independence Day bombing in Nigeria. Meanwhile, prison officials are yet to reveal full details of the incident. The Nigerian Prison Service has been under severe criticism in recent months following the several jailbreaks across the country. A four-story office building has collapsed in Gwarimpa Estate in Abuja, Nigeria's capital city. The building collapsed on Monday, although the number of people in the building before the collapse has not yet been confirmed. 6 people have already been pulled out of the rubble. 2 people, however, still trapped underneath. The rescue operations are currently underway to rescue the victims. Nigeria's President Muhammad Buhari says his government is willing to negotiate with the Boko Haram sect to free the Chibok girls abducted 2 years ago. His statement comes days after the families of the over 200 schoolgirls kidnapped from their school in Chibok, Borno State in 2014 asked him to resign if he could not secure their release. The president also indicated he was willing to do a prisoner swap with the Boko Haram sect. The terror group had recently released a video showing some of the kidnapped girls. In the video, the group asked the Nigerian government to release its members held captive before the girls could be released. In a bid to assist Nigerians displaced internally by the Boko Haram insurgency, the Nigerian Army has established a temporary school for children at the IDP camp in Bamatown, Borno State. The temporary school in the northeast region was built using military tents. The school comprises of 6 military tents in which soldiers not on essential duty serve as teachers, while some of the IDPs who were teachers before their displacement also teach in the school. A federal high court in Abuja has rejected the application of Shiite leader Ibrahim El-Zakzaky seeking his immediate release from detention by the Department of State Service. El-Zakzaky and his wife Zina had filed a suit against the federal government challenging their continued detention by the Nigerian army. However, the judge Justice Okonabang in his ruling said El-Zakzaky ought to have obtained the leave of court for the matter to be heard during vacation. Abang said the application was not competent and struck out the application. The Shiite leader is being charged with criminal conspiracy, inciting public disturbances, among others. The Shiite members had clashed with the Nigerian army late December last year, during which hundreds of people were killed. The Nigerian Army has formally launched a new military exercise in the Niger Delta region codenamed Exercise Crocodile Smile. Chief of the Army Staff, Lieutenant General Chukwuburutai, flagged off the exercise in Sapele, Delta State, South Nigeria. This will be the second operation in the region after the Operation Delta Safe. The exercise will be carried out by the 82nd Division and part of 2nd Division areas in the South-South geopolitical zone. Burutai has urged the troops to respect the rights of law-abiding citizens in their areas of operation, who he says were critical to the success of the exercise. Recurring attacks on oil and gas facilities by militants in the Niger Delta region has cut the country's crude production. One of the militant groups in the region, the Niger Delta Avengers, recently agreed to a ceasefire and dialogue with the Nigerian government. Meanwhile, members of the Joint Task Force have killed 5 militants in Rivers State, Nigeria's southern region. The Nigerian Army confirmed the development, saying it is making progress in curbing criminal activities in that region. The militants were killed during an exchange of gunfire with troops and a cache of arms and ammunition recovered from them. Nigeria's Ministry of Education has unveiled a roadmap to promote quality education in the country. The plan, called Education for Change, a ministerial strategic plan, was unveiled in Abuja on Monday. Presenting his keynote address, Minister of Education Adamu condemned the deplorable state of the education sector in the country, while the Minister of State for Education Anthony Anwuka also says Nigeria needs to embrace all-inclusive approach to strengthen the education sector.
We are neither all aware that the challenges confronting the education sector, while the world is producing knowledge professionals, as I tell you, we are grappling with students out of school at the primary, secondary, and at the tertiary level. We are only able to admit 17 to 18% of students who qualify. You must also accept that our situation is very, very critical today. There are acute shortages of infrastructure and facilities in most public schools, or almost all public schools. Teachers are poorly motivated. Many of them are not qualified to deliver quality education. The environment continues to deteriorate. It is below expectations in many places, and employers of labor demand substantial improvement in the quality of our products. With high level of youth unemployment and global technological advancement, we certainly need to do a lot of prioritizing in the areas of technical and vocational education and training so that we can catch up, and our youth will have the requisite skills for the world of work.
For Nigeria to meet the targets of the SDG 4, the education sector needs to strengthen our educational system. Our dilapidated schools must be provided with befitting infrastructure to become learner-friendly for all learners, including girls, the vulnerable, and those with special needs. We must recruit new and retrain existing teachers for quality education delivery. Every child, girl or boy, must not only enroll in school, but must complete the full cycle of basic education and must be seen to learn. Our tertiary education must be citadels of learning that foster innovation to meet the needs of the workforce, strengthen research capabilities, and advance knowledge by increasing higher education opportunities for our young people. We recognize that the task of revamping the education sector is challenging, but certainly not daunting. However, the ministry cannot do it alone. Our task is to coordinate national efforts to meet our national goals and objectives. It is our firm belief that with good planning, appropriate investment of resources, effective collaboration and coordination of inputs and activities of government and all stakeholders, we will realize our target of providing quality education to build and sustain adequate human capital for national development.
The death toll in an attack by suspected herdsmen on an Enugu community has risen to 2. The victim died while receiving medical treatment in a hospital in the region. The incident occurred in the early hours of Thursday. Meanwhile, the Commissioner of Police in the state, Emmanuel Ojukwu, has urged members of the community to remain calm as authorities find out what caused the incident. Enugu State Governor Ifeanyi Ugwuanyi, who described the killings as unfortunate, condemned the act in its entirety and vowed to bring perpetrators to book. Suspected herdsmen have killed hundreds of Nigerians in Benue State, Kaduna, Enugu, and Plateau states. The Minister of Works, Power and Housing, Babatunde Fashola, has asked those handling the Lagos-Ibadan Expressway to ensure that safety measures are put in place. Fashola, who was on an inspection tour of the road, urged Nigerians to be cautious while driving on the expressway. Our correspondent, Abiola Ismail, now reports.
Lagos, bring it into.
The minister has come here to inspect the progress of work on Nigeria's busiest way. It's been weeks now since the contractors resumed work after getting some payments from the government. With the Ember months now around the corner, traffic on the road is bound to increase, and with work still going on, every traffic jam are expected. The minister says he wants the contractors to expedite work on the road and provide measures for the safety of motorists.
What I'd like you to focus on is that you will have increased vehicular activity towards the end of the year. People going for Christmas, and you will also have that, I think, in about 2 weeks from now, because of the Eid festival. So you must plan your work in such a way that you are able to accommodate that traffic and also help to make the journey time of commuters better during that period. They'll be traveling home and coming back. And I also would like you to improve the safety signs on this highway. I'm going to write to your MDs. I need to see more safety signs. If you have to put reflective stickers, especially for nighttime, and lighting, please do so.
The contractors also took him round the construction site and affirming that signs and cautions will be installed in strategic areas for road users.
The concrete deck on pile where we pass later is at the moment a big bottleneck, and this we want to finish, of course, in November, so that for Christmas period the complete concrete deck is free for traffic, that there will be no bottleneck anymore.
So that we can always make sure that the traffic can flow as best as possible. These are approximately 12 kilometers, and they are supposed to be completed in March 17, so that we have the first section on the road towards Shagamu already completed.
The Lagos-Ibadan Highway reconstruction project has dragged on for a very long time now, owing to lack of funds. The contractors only returned to site after the new government in the country paid part of their debts. If everything continues to hold and the contractors sustain the tempo of work, it won't be long Nigerians get more or less a brand new Lagos-Ibadan expressway. Abiola Ismail, TV360 Lagos.
A faction of the People's Democratic Party led by Ali Modu Sheriff has picked governorship aspirant Jimoh Ibrahim as its candidate in the forthcoming election in Ondo State. Ibrahim was chosen despite a court order stopping Sheriff from going on with another primary election in the state. The decision is likely to increase the leadership crisis within the People's Democratic Party. Just last week, another faction of the PDP led by Ahmed McCarthy had nominated the former Attorney General and Commissioner of Justice of Ondo State, Eyitayo Jegede, as the governorship candidate of the PDP. The Inspector General of Police in Nigeria, Ibrahim Idris, has slammed reports accusing him of massive looting and violation of public trust. A report by an online media called Sahara Reporters published a story alleging that the police head had been involved in embezzlement. However, in a statement issued in Abuja by its spokesperson, DCP Don Awuna, the police described the story as a mischievous, distractive, and misleading story. We'll take a quick break. When we come back, we'll look at sports and international stories. Don't go away.
Corruption not in my country.
Mr. Job! Mr. Job! What is it now?
What is it now?
Please turn down the volume of your music. It's too loud.
And how is that your business?
It is disturbing me. I can't sleep.
And the same way you are disturbing my right to good music and where I enjoy it. What's wrong with you? Is there another person complaining?
Maybe we thought that you have lost your mind. Are you having a party?
I'm just respecting you, sir. You remember I've paid my husband too.
You will not understand why we are complaining, because you do not care about other people except yourself. Look, the transformation we need in this country begins in this compound.
Yes, now.
From you and I. This your selfishness is an offshoot of corruption. And corruption
not in my country.
Oh, you know, go to your bank. Go.
Corruption not in my country.
Welcome back. Nigeria's central bank sold an undisclosed amount of dollars close to the end of market session to help prop up the naira. The currency market also registered $327 million worth of trades on Monday, which is about 6 times more than its usual volume. That included a single $270 million transaction at 345 naira per dollar by foreign investors buying local currency bonds. The currency closed at 305 on Monday. Oil fell towards $49 per barrel on Monday, pressured by high output from Middle East OPEC members. Brent crude was at $49.30 per barrel, while U.S. crude was down 60 cents at $47.04 per barrel. The comments about high oil output have reduced expectations that OPEC and outside producers such as Russia will agree steps next month to support prices, such as a production freeze, following the collapse of a similar effort in April this year. At least 60 people have been killed in a suicide car bomb at a military facility in the southern Yemen city of Aden. A training camp or compound used by the pro-government Popular Resistance Militia was also hit by the car bomb. Militants of so-called Islamic State have claimed responsibility for that attack. It comes amid a fresh push to end Yemen's 17-month-old war between Saudi-backed government and rebels that has the UN says has left 6,600 people dead. The impeachment trial of Brazil's Dilma Rousseff reached a dramatic point on Monday as the suspended president defended herself in the Senate. Rousseff is accused of illegally manipulating the budget to hide a growing deficit. She denies the allegations and says the impeachment proceedings amount to a coup. Senators are due to vote this week on whether to remove her from office for good or whether to reinstate her. For her to be removed from the presidency permanently, 54 of the 81 senators would have to vote for her impeachment. Moving on to sports stories now, former Dream Team 6 coach Samson Siasia says the NFF still owes him salaries dating back several months. The former coach reportedly resigned from his post on Saturday, citing unpaid wages as the key reason for his resignation. There are also speculations that he left his post because his contract ended after the Rio 2016 Olympic Games. The 49-year-old says he has quit Nigerian football but insists that the NFF must pay the backlog of the salaries owed to him. Siasia has endured a torrid relationship with the Nigerian Football Federation. He served as Super Eagles head coach between December 2010 and October 2011 before his contract was terminated following the team's failure to qualify for the 2012 African Cup of Nations. The former player then also acted as interim Super Eagles coach in March 2016. Nigeria Super Eagles have begun preparations ahead of their final AFCON 2017 qualifying clash against Tanzania. The Eagles will be camped at Uyo, Akwa Ibom State, southern Nigeria. The match is a dead rubber as both teams are out of the qualifying race. New coach Geno Rowe has already released a list of 23 players for the match, which will take place at the Akwa Ibom International Stadium, Uyo, on Saturday, September 3rd, 2016. The Eagles will miss the 2017 AFCON for the second successive time after failing to defeat the Pharaohs of Egypt in the 2 matches played in March this year. The Nigerian Paralympics Committee has released a list of 23 athletes who will represent the country at the Rio 2016 Paralympic Games. The Games begin on September 7, 2016 and is expected to run till September 18, 2016. However, build-up to the Games has been overshadowed by Nigeria's poor performance at the Rio 2016 Olympics and a lack of funds for the Nigerian athletes. Despite all these, the Nigerian Paralympics Committee has gone on to release a list of athletes to represent the country at the Games. The list is made up of 10 male and 13 female athletes. Nigeria will be competing in only 3 sports, which is athletics, powerlifting and table tennis. Well, that's all we have on news now. We thank you very much for joining us. I am Thelma Okoro.